Good morning. We're going to start in our chair. Why don't you just go ahead right now and put your strap or your belt, whatever you're going to use, on the side of your chair and just kind of have it there. It'll be easily reachable should you decide to use it. I'm having us use blocks today because I find that the use of a block when I'm doing certain kind of knee bending postures is really helpful in illustrating how exactly my knees bend and keeping good alignment. Because sometimes if maybe you have immobility in your knees in some way, or too much mobility in your hips, or there's some knee hip relationship going on when you bend your knees, or this could go with your ankles, your knees come out of alignment and then you're kind of twisting your knees very subtly as you bend your knees. So anyways, if you don't want to use the block for these knee bending things, please don't use it, but I invite you to try it out. But we won't need the block for right now, so you can put that aside. And just sit any way in your chair that you'd like. We're going to take a moment just to check in with ourselves. You can close your eyes or lower your gaze if that feels nice, and just greet yourself to your practice this morning. Maybe an inner smile or an outer smile. You could even say welcome, say your name to yourself. Glad you're here. And taking the next couple breaths just to acknowledge anything that's present for you physically, emotionally. Holding some space with love or neutrality for what is. And I encourage you to drink in these words by, let me see if I say her name right, Indira Babelapati. She says, the winds breathe with a sweep. The ocean and the clouds breathe with a roar. Then breathes the rain with a tip-tap. The fire breathes crackling silence. Space breathes with an echo. The sweep, the roar, the tip-tap, the fumes, the space, expand the universal energy connecting every breath. I absorb all that my body breathes in silence and peace. So this class will be focused around the breath today. So I encourage you to, if you find your mind wandering, just come back to witnessing the in and out of the breath. Good morning, Lauren. So having a seat, let's come a little bit away from the back of the chair if you're leaning up against the back of the chair. And we're going to exhale completely. Sit with a straight spine, nice and tall. And then inhale half to your half capacity of breath and hold. And now inhale to the full capacity of your breath and hold. Then open your mouth and slowly let the breath out, nice and slow, every last bit of the breath. And then inhale to half of your lungs capacity. Hold. Inhale to the full capacity of your lungs. Hold. Open your mouth slowly, let the breath come out. Every last bit, maybe even really contracting your tummy to get the last bit of breath out. And we'll do that one more time. inhaling to half capacity. Hold. Inhale to full capacity. Hold. Exhale slowly, releasing all the breath out. And just breathe naturally. Continue sitting up nice and tall. Slowly lower your chin to your chest. Draw your shoulder blades together behind you, and then rolling left ear to left shoulder. Take a moment on this side and just feel into the right side of your neck. You can move in any way that feels good. Stretching the right side of the neck. Sitting tall. And then chin to chest. And right ear to right shoulder. Stretching the left side. Breathe deep. Rolling chin down to chest and lifting head, neutral position. Come on and stand up. We're going to take our chair and bring it to the top of your mat with your seat facing you. Again, you've got your belt or your strap just kind of hanging off the back of the chair so you can reach it should you decide you'd like to use it. And have your block nearby if you'd like to use it. And we're just going to stretch out the back body here. So you could fold forward with your hands on the seat of the chair, kind of in a chair dog, downward dog position. Breathing deeply. Maybe you're ready just to bring your fingertips to the floor. Whatever you do, let your head hang unless that causes pain in the neck. If you're folding forward, please bend your knees at least a little bit. Let the belly spill onto the thighs. Let this be nice and easy. You could shift the weight of your body back and forth from foot to foot. Just letting your spine cascade towards the floor. Head, again, heavy. And then bending the knees and slowly roll up. Let your head be the last thing to come up, rolling up, stacking the spine. And once you stand up, you can straighten the legs. Feel your breath. Okay. So grab a hold of your block and you're going to bring it between your thighs on the thinnest setting, just above the knees. Again, this is just an option if you want to explore how are the knees functioning in relation to the hips. And then bring your hands to the back of the chair, and we're going to do some cat-cow with our hands on the chair. So walk your feet forward until the heels are underneath your rear. Slightly bend the knees, holding the block, and then inhale, arch the back, looking maybe forward, broad chest. And then exhale, round the back, part the shoulder blades, lower the head. A few more times like that on your own. And I find at least a slight bend of the knees in this as I go back and forth in this is going to help with mobility in the spine. And then feel free to just kind of what feels good in your spine right now. You want to circle the ribs? Do you want to do a lateral side bend? A few more breaths. And then I'd like you to exhale, bend the knees. Make sure your toes and knees are pointing forward. So You might have to turn your toes in a little bit if you tend to stand with the toes turned out. And then on an inhale, stand up and reach up. Reach, reach, reach. On the exhale, slightly bend the knees, hands back to the seat of the chair, long spine. And then inhale, lengthen the spine, look either forward or bring the chin just slightly away from the chest. So it's kind of like Ardha Uttanasana, like a half forward fold if you're familiar with that. Now, on the exhale, bend the knees and release the fingertips either to the floor as you lower your the crown of the head towards the mat, right? Or you can wrap your forearms behind your legs and gently kind of pull the chest towards, lost my thing. Gently pull the chest towards the legs. So you're kind of rounding the back. So options, just wrapping or fingertips down. This is the exhale. Bend the knees. Inhale, reaching up, standing up. Arms overhead. And then whenever the exhale arrives, we're going to come into a half forward fold. Hands on the seat of the chair. When the inhale comes, stay here, but broaden the chest, look forward, like half forward fold. Long, long spine, heart reaches forward. Now, exhale, bring the hands towards the floor or to the floor. Bend the knees. Maybe we wrap our forearms behind the legs and gently pull our trunk to our legs, only if that feels right for the body today. When the inhale arrives, the knees are going to stay slightly bent, holding the block as we come up through a chair position, reaching forward and up, both arms overhead. I'm trying to hold my box. And then the exhale back to hands on the chair, folding halfway. When the inhale comes, we're lengthening our spine, broad back. It's like a back bend while we're in a forward fold. Then the exhale arrives. Make sure those knees are bent. Fingertips towards the floor, to the floor, or wrap the arms behind the legs. Exhale completely. When the inhale arrives, reach up, stand up, both arms up overhead. One more time, exhale, broad chest, hands to the chair. When the inhale arrives, stay here, lengthen your spine, reach your heart away from your navel, maybe look forward. Exhale, bend those knees at least a little bit, fold over the legs into your variation. And then inhale, reach forward and up, stand up. Exhale, arms alongside the body, feel the breath. Okay, you take your block and just put it aside for now. Grab a hold of your strap. Actually, no, leave your strap right there. Excuse me, leave your strap right there because you may not want to use it. Step your right foot forward, your left foot back into a warrior one variation. Let it be a small one. The feet are a little bit wide east to west, so you don't want to be in a tightrope here. More like train tracks. And then with the bend of the front knee, open up your chest, bending elbows, cactus arms. Draw your shoulder blades together behind you, maybe bringing the fingers behind the elbows a little bit for a deeper stretch. This is the inhale. On the exhale, straighten your front leg, release your arms alongside the body. And that back foot is slightly turned out. When the inhale arrives, come back into warrior one, open the chest, elbows bend, lift your heart away from your navel, tummy strong, pulling in. Exhale, straighten the front leg, arms alongside the body. We're going to do that 3 more times. Keep your tummy in, moving to the rhythm of your breath, slowing the breath down, deepening it. On the 3rd time, you're going to pause, pressing the outer and inner edge of the back foot into the mat. Lift your heart maybe a little bit further away from the belly button. Nice long stretch of the spine. Drawing the head and throat back slightly, turning up the corners of the mouth. Last breath. Good. And then here you're going to either take a bind, interlacing fingers behind the back, or you're going to grab your strap and use that to help your arms get longer. All right, so you're going to hold on the strap behind you. Straighten your front leg, and we're going to come in and out of pyramid pose. Exhale with a long spine, folding over front leg. Inhale, come on up. And you can, maybe your spine doesn't get to a horizontal plane as you fold forward. That's okay. You just go maybe diagonal. That's okay. You're moving now in and out, using the strength of the legs to help you hinge forward and up. Both legs are straight. If you tend to lock your knees, please be careful that you're not locking your front knee as you come in and out of this. We're using the spine to open the chest and lengthen the neck. Now, next time you fold forward, you're going to either pause here. You could stay in the bind for a couple of breaths. We're eventually going to move our fingertips to the chair, or you might find you want to bring your hands to the floor on either side of the front foot. But keep a long spine. Draw your tummy towards your navel. Try to avoid swaying in the low back. And if you're not feeling too much sensation, or maybe you need more sensation, I'm going to give some options here. You can press the ball of your front foot into the mat as you lift your toes. And then you could also try drawing your right hip towards the back of the mat and your left hip towards the front of the mat. Go very slowly as you do this. Of course, they're not going to get there. We're just trying to square our hips a little bit more. Take one more breath. And then come on up. Come to mountain pose. Arms alongside the body, standing tall. Perhaps greeting yourself again with an inner smile or an outer smile. Second side. Left foot forward, right foot back. Make sure that you're not on that tight rope. Wider stance, back toes turning out slightly. Front toes pointing forward. On an inhale, bending front knee, open the chest, cactus arms. And we want to make sure when we bend the front knee, it doesn't go beyond the ankle. On the exhale, arms come alongside the body. Straightening the front leg. Inhale, bend front knee, broad chest. Exhale, arms alongside the body, straightening front leg. Let's do that 3 more times on your own. Do your best to keep the hips and shoulders square facing the chair. On the 3rd one, we're going to pause there. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears as we gather our scapula together behind us. Lift your heart, strong abdominal wall pulling in towards the spine. Back foot anchored completely to the floor, all corners of that back foot. Last breath. And then find your bind. Maybe you use the strap. Perhaps you interlace your fingers. straightening the front leg. Exhale, hinge over straightened front leg. Inhale, coming up. Moving with your breath. Reaching heart and neck and head away from the pelvis. Let this bind open your chest. And then pausing, folding over the leg. Maybe you stay in the bind for a few more breaths. Maybe you're ready to bring the hands to the chair or to the floor on either side of the front foot. Breathe deep. And of course, if you need to deepen in this posture, perhaps anchor the ball of the foot into the floor as you lift the toes. And then drawing left hip back very slowly as the right hip comes forward ever so slightly. Maybe releasing down further. Got 1 or 2 more breaths. And then slowly come on up, back to mountain pose. Feel the breath. So grab a hold of your block once more. We're going to slide it back between the thighs, just above the knees, on its thinnest setting. And we're gently holding the block as we move in and out of this variation of chair pose. Please make sure your toes and your knees are pointing forward. And I encourage you as you go through this is quite subtle. See, could you rotate your inner thighs towards the wall behind you? Just a little bit. Draw the belly in. And now facing the seat of your chair, you're going to inhale, bending the knees any amount, reaching either just forward, or if you like to reach up, you can do that. I'll demo it forward. And then exhale, bringing the hands to the back, the seat of the chair, staying in a chair position with the legs, folding forward. So we're releasing the low back as we're in this chair position. You could also bring the hands to the floor if you like. And then on an inhale, slowly come on up, reaching up overhead. Exhale alongside the body. We'll do that twice more. Inhale, chair position, either arms forward or up. Exhale, stay in chair. Fingertips to the floor or the seat of the chair. Hold your block. On the inhale, use the strength of the legs to come on up, reaching up, standing, arms overhead, mountain pose. Exhale, arms alongside the body. Last one. Inhale, chair. Exhale, chair, but folded chair. Folding, let your head go. Feel the strength of your legs so your back can release. And then inhale, reaching up, stand up, reach up. Exhale, mountain pose. Feel your breath. Go ahead and remove your block. We're going to come onto our bellies. You can move your chair out of the way. I don't think we're going to need we won't need our strap anymore. So you can move your chair and your strap out of the way. Yeah, coming on to the belly. Okay. Come into Crocodile Pose, taking your feet as wide as the mat. Make a pillow for your forehead by stacking your hands, and then just resting head on hands. Let your belly soften, your glutes, your legs. Take one big belly breath, expanding your tummy into the mat as you inhale. Hold it. Open the mouth, let the breath out. Okay. Locate your block. Again, this is optional. Bring it on its lowest setting once again between the thighs, just above the knees. Gently start to hold the block between the thighs, drawing your low belly in. You can keep your forehead resting on your palms at first. As we just do, this is going to be a movement posture, and I'm going to break it down in a few different steps. So on an inhale, keep holding your block, but lift your right foot. So, bend your right knee so your right toe is pointing towards the ceiling. Keep pulling the belly in, holding the block, and then exhale, return to beginning position. On the inhale, bend left knee. Reach left knee away from the pelvis. Feel the stretch, hold the block. And then exhale, return foot to mat. Keep your tummy in, lengthen your rear towards your heels, and then bend both knees on the inhale. Hold the block. On the exhale, both feet to the floor. We're going to add the chest now. Bring arms alongside either side of the chest, hands on the mat on either side of the chest. Bend the elbows towards the sky. Inhale, bend your right knee, lift your chest and your head, gaze to the front of the mat. Hold the block. Exhale, bring your right cheek to the mat, return the foot to the floor. Second side, inhale, left knee bends, look to the front of the mat, hold the block, lengthen your tail towards your heels. Exhale, left cheek to the mat. Tummy's in, long low back. As you inhale, bending both knees, lift the chest, squeeze the scapula together behind you. Exhale, right cheek to the mat. Inhale, bend right knee, lift chest, hold the block, look forward. Exhale, bring left cheek to the mat. Foot down. Inhale, left knee bends, lift chest, look forward, squeeze scapula together. Exhale, right cheek to the mat. Return to the floor. Now, inhale, both knees bend, hold the block, lift the chest, stay here. Exhale, hold the block, spiraling your inner thighs now towards the ceiling. Stay here. Inhale, lift, lift, lift. And exhale, release back to crocodile. Stack the palms, take the feet wide, shimmy the hips, let go of any tension you've accumulated. Big belly breath in and out. Good, I'm gonna have you flip over onto your back. Reclined pigeon pose, right ankle on left knee. Drawing bottom thigh towards your chest. Keep your right foot flexed. Feel your breath. Put a little more weight in the left side of your pelvis. You're kind of leaning to the left. Helps open the hip in a little different way. And now, equal weight on both sides of the pelvis. Let's cross our thighs tightly, like we're sitting cross-legged in a chair. No space between the thighs at this point. You're going to grab a hold of your knees. So opposite hand to opposite knee. This is probably the way it's going to work out. If this isn't accessible to you, grab your strap again and lasso your shins. That's totally fine. Allow the spine to lengthen on the mat. Now, some of you might stay here. If you'd like to deepen in this posture, you feel like you have room to go somewhere, you'll walk your hands towards the ankles. And so since we have opposite hand on opposite leg, right, it's going to cause the legs, the lower legs, to start to move away from each other. And if you're familiar with cow face pose or Gomukhasana, this is like a reclined Gomukhasana. If you feel like this is not good for your knees, of course, please just go back to a variation that does feel kind to the knees. And then we'll release. Both feet on the mat, knees bent. Second side, left ankle on right thigh. Keep the foot flexed. And then drawing the legs towards the chest. I encourage you to allow your pelvis to get heavy on the mat as you do this. Let your head release into the floor. You could even breathe out the mouth if it would help the body unwind. And then put a little more weight in the right hip. It's almost like I'm going to ask you to roll to your right side. Just a little bit of weight on that right side. Left foot flex. And reclined Gomukhasana. So close the legs. You're going to bring your weight back into your pelvis evenly and then sit cross-legged. Grab a hold of the knees. Pause here, inquire, how does it feel on this side? And then proceed to the variation that speaks to you today. Staying heavy on the mat, soft in the face, the forehead. Giving yourself permission to breathe. Okay, release. Both feet on the mat, knees bent, arms alongside the body. Notice the texture of the floor underneath the soles of the feet. And then press the backs of your arms, like particularly your elbows, into the mat until your chest kind of puffs towards the ceiling and you can walk your shoulder blades flat underneath your body. Hopefully that'll cause the shoulders to come a little bit away from the ears. You want that. And then draw the knees into the chest. Arms are going to be alongside the body as we do this. This is a variation of staff pose, but we're doing staff pose on our back, basically. And we're going to link some movements to our breath. On an inhale, straighten your legs vertically as you sweep your arms straight up and then back behind you to the floor. Some of us, maybe the arms won't make it back to the floor. That's okay. Maybe the arms just come diagonal. On the exhale, bend the knees, return to beginning position, arms alongside the body. We're rainbowing our arms up, back, and forward. On the inhale, extend the legs, broad chest, reach, arms behind you. Gaze to the ceiling. Exhale, bend, knees, arms alongside the body. Keep the gaze to the ceiling, long both sides of the neck, and then moving to the rhythm of your breath. The inhale is like this full Supta Dandasana, reclined staff pose. Exhale is giving yourself a break. Keep moving. Flexing the feet as you reach the legs to the sky. Now, next time you come into the full pose, extending the legs, flexing the feet, pause there and hold your breath on the inhale. Stay here, but let the breath out. Take one more round of breath here, inhaling. You can add the pause if you like it, and then exhaling. Bending knees, arms alongside the body. Let's roll to our side and come on up for Janu Shirshasana. Oop. Bend your right knee into your groin. Let's see, how am I going to, okay. And actually, some of you might want a strap for this. I'll demo it. You can just hold on to a part of your leg, or I like to use a strap if I can't reach the foot. And then you're going to sit nice and tall in this position. The strap's nice because it helps the the left foot flex, which will help you get a stretch in the calf. And get as tall in the spine as you can get. And you're kind of pulling away from the foot, and the foot's pulling away from you, getting a nice stretch in the arms. Exhale completely here. And then on the next inhale, really accentuate the inhale and hold the inhale at the top. When the exhale arrives, open the mouth, slowly let it out, and just fold over the left leg, folding. You can release the strap if you like, or keep holding on to it. Now just letting the spine arc towards the leg. But gaze at the knee as you reach your belly button towards the left foot. And if you're finding you're feeling confinement, or this pose is kind of illustrating any areas of confinement in your body, send the breath into those areas. Imagine you could inflate them on the inhale, and you could release them on the exhale. When your inhale arrives again, come on up, and we'll do the second side. So first, getting tall, lengthening. Oh, and I forgot to mention this. If you're ever on the floor and you're kicking your legs out in front of you, or you're sitting cross-legged and you're like, this is like so hard, just lift your hips up on a blanket or a pillow. If your hips are higher than your knees, it's highly likely that your spine will be able to be freed up, so you can sit tall. All right, so inhale, hold the breath, stay here, exhale. One more time, inhale, hold the breath, and then on the exhale, release, fold over the right leg. Keep that right foot flexed, you'll get more out of the pose. Reach your navel towards your foot as you gaze at your knee. Just letting the breath come and go naturally. With an inhale, come back up, Cobblers Pose. Soles of the feet together, sitting tall. This is a good one to actually elevate your hips if you have something nearby. If you don't, that's okay. You could, like, the closer your heels are to your groin, the more intense the stretch is going to be, obviously. And if you're feeling quite tight today, just make it more Tadasana. Let the feet come away from the groin and then just get nice and tall. We're going to be sitting tall here for 3 breaths. And then add a fold if you like. 3 breaths. Inhale, come on up. We're going to come onto our backs, grab your block. Once again, slide it between the thighs on its thinnest setting, just above the knees, feet on the mat. Arms alongside the body. Draw your tummy in, and I'd like you to imagine rolling your inner thighs towards, away from your face as you squeeze the block. So it's like energetically imagining you're rolling your inner thighs away from your face. Hollow your belly. Keep holding the block gently. And then on an inhale, we'll come into bridge pose. Sweep the arms up, And then back behind you as you lift the hips. Keep holding the block. On the exhale, lower the hips to the mat, sweep the arms up and then alongside the body. And we're going to just do that coming in and out of this posture. Have the heels generally underneath the knees. We're holding the block. And as we do this, imagining that we could roll the inner thighs, rotate them away from the face, towards the floor as you reach up and back. Keep your gaze up towards the ceiling. And this block might mean that your hips can't come up that high. That's okay, because you're kind of getting to know, where are my quads so tight that I'm avoiding stretching them in bridge pose. And then next time you lift the hips and the arms come back behind you, keep gazing up, but then lower your hips and lower just your left arm. Turn your head away from the right arm, so to the left, and pause here. So let the arm behind you just be heavy. It's okay if the elbow bends. We're just seeing if we can create a little bit more space on the right side of the neck and the top of the right shoulder. Hips are on the floor. Maybe eyes closed. Perhaps checking in with yourself with an inner smile or an outer smile. Just like you would check in on a good friend. How you doing? And then we're going to come back to bridge, but I want you to have your gaze at the ceiling once your hips are in the air. So coming back, left arm back behind you, gazing to the ceiling, hips lifted. Second side, hips to the mat, right arm alongside the body, head turns right. Let your left arm get heavy. Maybe it softens. Heavy head, soft face. And then we'll do one more bridge. You want to be gazing at the ceiling when the hips are in the air. Reach right arm back behind you. And then when the exhale arrives, roll down the spine, arms alongside the body. Take the block, slide it underneath your pelvis. So now your hips are just supported bridge. Bring your hands to the front of the hips, inviting the psoas, the hip flexors, to soften under your hands. Soften your belly. Check in with your head, your neck, your shoulders. Try to get as much length in your neck as you can in this position. Gazing to the ceiling. The back of the neck is long as well. You're welcome to stay here or come along with me and float your legs up. Viparita Karani, or reverse process. Arms can come alongside the body. Now, if your legs don't float over the hips while straightened, no problem. Maybe you just kind of bend the knees. Maybe the backs of the legs feel tight today. You just kind of float them around. Name of the game here is, let's get the blood out of our feet and ankles. Let's bring some nourishing blood into the organs, to the head. Feel your breath. And then bending the knees. Bring the feet to the mat. Lift the hips off the block and find your relaxation pose. If your chair is nearby, you could kick the feet up on the chair. Maybe you'd like to slide a block behind either knee. Get comfy. And I'll read this poem once more to send you into relaxation pose. Please check in, see that your body is heavy, your bottom is relaxed, your belly, your face, your shoulders, chest. So this poem's called My Breath. The winds breathe with a sweep. The ocean and the clouds breathe with a roar. Then breathes the rain with a tip-tap. The fire breathes crackling silence. Space breathes with an echo. The sweep, the roar, the tip-tap, the fumes, the space expand the universal energy connecting every breath. I absorb all these that my body breathes in silence and peace. Beginning to deepen your breath. If you'd like to stay in relaxation longer, please do. If you need to get going with the rest of your day, start to wiggle your fingers, toes, ankles, wrists, moving until it culminates into a big morning stretch. Perhaps holding the inhale and then letting the exhale out through the mouth. Bending the knees and then slowly rolling to one side. As you're ready, use your arms to help bring yourself to a comfortable seat. Palms together in front of your heart. Please take a moment of gratitude towards yourself for practicing today, completing this practice. And if you'd like to send some deep breaths to someone special in your life, visualize them now, or maybe multiple beings in your life, visualize them. And just sending them a breath of fresh air. Big breath in, send it out. See them at ease, smiling, spacious. Thank you so much for your practice today. Namaste.